The morning sun rose over Coronado, its golden light casting long, sharp shadows on the dusty ground of the seal shooting range. Boots crunched on gravel. Laughter rang out from clusters of hardened men, warriors molded by blood, sweat, and silence. But among them stood a figure who didn't belong. Old, thin, and worn like weathered oak, he stood quietly at the edge of the range. No SEAL badge, no tactical gear, just khaki slacks, a faded navy windbreaker, and hands that trembled ever so slightly until they wrapped around the grip of a rifle. "Who let the museum piece in?" one of the younger SEALs muttered, loud enough to draw chuckles from his squad. Nobody noticed the slight narrowing of the old man's eyes. Not yet. His name was never spoken, not that day. The roster said Mr. Thompson, but even the commanding officer hadn't received much intel beyond a quiet request from an admiral to let the man observe. But Mr. Thompson wasn't there to observe that he moved with the slow elegance of someone who'd stopped rushing long ago. Every step was careful, not weak. Every breath deliberate. The kind of stillness only found in men who had once stood in places where chaos ruled and silence was survival. T-68. His shoulders slumped slightly, but there was a strange tension in his posture, as though he were carrying something heavier than age. The range officer offered him a half-hearted smile. "Sir, these weapons are live. You might want to stand back." Thompson didn't respond. He simply walked forward and picked up a standard issue M4 like he'd done it 1,000 times before, because he had. But none of them knew that. The SEALs had been competing all morning, each trying to break the unofficial range record, 12 headshots in under 10 seconds at 50 yards. No one had even come close. Gunsmoke lingered in the air, mixing with testosterone and pride. Bragging rights were on the line. Reputation. Brotherhood. When the old man quietly stepped to the line and checked the sights, the laughter returned. Nervous this time, bordering on cruel. "You sure you know which end to point, Grandpa?" One smirked. "Maybe someone should call his nurse." Another chuckled. But Commander Reyes, a 20-year SEAL veteran, narrowed his eyes. There was something unsettling about how calm Thompson was. How he didn't flinch, didn't smile, didn't react, just loaded the rifle, just stood still. And then he said the only words anyone would remember from him that day. "Timer ready?" Reyes raised an eyebrow, but humored him. "All right, shooter ready?" Click. The safety came off. The air thickened. Conversations hushed. Something about the man's posture silenced even the cynics. And then, bang, 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 bang. 12 shots. Precise. Controlled. Almost melodic in rhythm. 10 seconds flat. Reyes checked the stopwatch. Then, he checked again. Silence. Everyone turned toward the target board. 12 clean headshots. No misses. No hesitation. Not just a perfect score, a new record. SEAL record. Shattered. The same SEAL who had mocked him earlier let out a low whistle. "What the hell?" Thompson calmly set the rifle down and stepped back, the tremble in his hands returning. But it wasn't weakness that it was release. Reyes stepped forward, eyes wide. "Who are you?" The old man didn't answer, but another voice did, from the back of the crowd. "He's Lieutenant Commander Alan Thompson. DevGru. Retired." A younger officer stepped forward, holding a file that had just been rushed from headquarters. "Served in Black Ops between 78 and 89. Record classified. Medal of Honor recipient, twice." The SEALs stiffened. Thompson remained still. He hadn't come for recognition, not for medals, not for applause. That he came for one thing only: to feel the steel in his hands again, to remember who he was, to prove, if only to himself, that the fire inside hadn't gone out. And in doing so, he lit something in all of them. N01 laughed now. One by one. The SEALs walked up to him, not with cheers, but with respect. A salute here, a handshake there. No grand ceremony, just quiet reverence for a man whose name they never knew until today, but would never forget after. Reyes stood beside him and spoke quietly. "You didn't come to break records, did you?" Thompson smiled, a faint, weathered thing. "No," he said. "I came to remember I still could." And with that, he turned and walked away, disappearing into the morning sun like a ghost made flesh. But what he left behind rippled through every soul on that range. A reminder that greatness isn't loud, that strength doesn't always shout, that legends don't always look like the stories tell them. If that story stirred something in you, don't let it fade, because somewhere out there, someone just like him is being overlooked, underestimated, forgotten. But every quiet soul has a story, and sometimes the quietest man on the range is the one who taught everyone else how to aim. Collision. Share this story if you believe respect should never be based on appearances. Subscribe for more powerful moments that prove character is louder than words. Yellowheart, be the reason someone is seen today. Let legends live, one story at a time.